Once you've ventured deep enough into Aokigahara, you begin to realize a disturbing truth. The forest doesn't need to do anything to break you down. It doesn't conjure up terrifying images, doesn't create ghostly sounds, doesn't try to scare or drive you away. All it does is remain in its state, silent, dense, and completely unresponsive. It is in that state that people begin to change. The rangers say that some people have been found alive, but their eyes are no longer the same as before they entered the forest. They don't panic, they don't cry, they don't scream for help. They just sit still for a long time, as if waiting for something they themselves can't name.
Hears me. If my voice is just another whisper among the leaves.
When asked why they didn't turn back, many don't answer immediately. They remain silent, trying to remember, and finally utter a chilling statement. I think I still have time. In Aokigahara, the sense of time is distorted. There's no direct sunlight to distinguish between morning, noon, and afternoon. Light filters through the dense foliage, creating a pale, almost unchanging bluish-gray hue that lasts for hours. Clocks tick, but the body no longer feels the familiar rhythm of day. Some people enter the forest intending only a short stroll, only to return when it's already dark. Others carry enough food for a few hours, but hunger doesn't come at the right time. And some, most dangerously, begin to feel that they don't need to rush to leave. Personal belongings found in the forest are usually neatly arranged. Shoes are placed neatly next to backpacks, jackets are folded, phones are switched off. There are no signs of struggle or panic. This scene is perplexing to outsiders, but for those who have been in the forest long enough, it holds a terrifying logic. When you're in Aokigahara, the outside world gradually becomes alien. The pressures, expectations, and gazes of others, all of that is gone. No one is watching you. No one is judging. No one is demanding that you become something. This absolute freedom, for some, is not liberation, but an unbearable void.
The view from the overlook is spectacular this time of day.
Just be sure to watch your step on the way up. Thank you, I appreciate the tip.
In Japanese culture, the concept of gaman, silent endurance, is considered a virtue. But when endurance lasts too long, unspoken, unreleased, it accumulates into an invisible pressure. Aokigahara, somehow, becomes a place where that pressure is allowed to exist without concealment. People don't go to the forest with immediate intentions. Many go simply to think a little, to temporarily escape everything, to find a place where no one asks questions, no one interferes. And Aokigahara is one of the rare places that allows that, absolutely. The rangers have a special procedure when encountering someone traveling alone in the forest. They don't directly ask, "Are you all right?" They don't bring up stories of what happened there. They only ask very simple questions. Where are you going? Do you want to go outside? Is someone waiting for you? Because just one wrong question, just one word that touches on a thought the person is trying to avoid, can cause everything to fall apart instantly.
Sometimes I wonder if the forest hears me. If If my voice is just another whisper among the leaves.
In some cases, the person being escorted out of the forest bursts into tears the moment they see the parking lot, not out of fear, but because they feel they've returned to a world they weren't ready to face. Aokigahara in that moment is no longer a scary place. It becomes a place where they feel understood in a very distorted way. Legends of Yude in the forest don't depict them as wandering ghosts scaring the living. Instead, they simply stand still, silently, observing. Ancient people believed these spirits didn't try to drag anyone down, but merely reflected the mental state of those who entered the forest. If you carry fear, you will feel fear. If you carry despair, you will feel despair. And if you carry emptiness, the forest will amplify it to the point where you no longer recognize yourself. There's a phenomenon that many survivors describe similarly, even though they've never met. They say that at some point, they begin to feel the forest is pleasant. Not beautiful, not friendly, but pleasant. As if there's no need to struggle anymore. As if staying is no longer a difficult decision. That's the most dangerous moment, because when there's no struggle, people easily drift away. And Aokigahara, with its unjudgmental stillness, becomes a still but deep stream. People often ask whether the forest calls people, but perhaps the more accurate question is, when all other sounds fade away, will you still have the strength to avoid listening to the thoughts you've long buried? Aokigahara doesn't whisper, it doesn't entice, it simply gives you enough space, enough quiet, for those thoughts to speak for themselves, and not everyone is ready to hear them.
The view from the overlook is spectacular this time of day.
Just be sure to watch your step on the way up. Thank you, I appreciate the tip.
Upon leaving Aokigahara, few can say they truly understood the forest. Most carry only a vague feeling, as if they've just passed through a place not belonging to their familiar world. There are no explosive moments, no clear climaxes, just a subtle shift in how they perceive the silence and themselves. The forest trails aren't designed for clear directions. They meander, split, and then rejoin, some sections seemingly leading deeper, but actually circling back. This leaves many, even after safely leaving the forest, with the feeling that they haven't truly gone all the way. A ranger once said that some people have left the forest years ago, but Aokigahara remains within them. Not in the form of clear memories, but as a state of mind. They become more sensitive to silence. They are uncomfortable in overly noisy places, and sometimes, in the most ordinary moments, they suddenly recall the feeling of standing in the middle of the forest when everything around them demanded that they be someone special.
Sometimes I wonder if the forest hears me. If my voice is just another whisper among the leaves.
Aokigahara leaves no visible wounds. It leaves questions. Why can a place without consciousness, without intention, have such a powerful impact on people? Why, in the same forest, do some people see only trees and shade, while others feel as if they are standing at the very edge of their own being? Perhaps the answer lies not in the forest itself, but in what each person carries with them when they enter. Mount Fuji stands there, majestic and imposing. considered a symbol of longevity and purity. Right at the foot of that mountain, Aokigahara exists as a silent opposite. Not to deny the beauty of Fuji, but to remind us that even in the most sacred places, people still carry their own shadows. The Japanese didn't try to erase Aokigahara from the map. They didn't destroy the forest. They didn't hide its existence. Instead, they placed very simple signs at the edge of the forest. No threats, no intimidation, just words reminding us of life, that someone is willing to listen, acknowledging that darkness exists, but not letting it speak for everything. Aokigahara isn't the only place in the world known as the Dead Forest, but it differs in that it doesn't build fear through imagery. There are no obvious scenes of desolation, no visible traces. Everything is so well concealed by the forest, as if it doesn't want anyone to see too much. And that's what makes the human imagination work harder than any horror story. Some say that if you stand still in the forest long enough, you'll feel like someone is watching you. But some argue that the feeling is simply the first time in your life you're not distracted by anything else. When there's no more traffic, no more phone notifications, no more stares from others, the brain is forced to turn inward. And not everyone enjoys that encounter. Aokigahara becomes a very special mirror. It doesn't reflect your face, but your inner state. What you try to avoid the most is often what becomes clearest when everything else disappears. The scary thing isn't what the forest does to people, it's that the forest does nothing, leaving people to confront themselves. After leaving the forest, many find it difficult to describe that experience to others. Words seem insufficient, because Aokigahara isn't a series of events, but a lingering, vague, and persistent feeling. Recounting it is like trying to explain a dream you're still trapped in. Perhaps that's why Aokigahara is always shrouded in rumors, oral traditions, and different interpretations. Each person tells a different version, and none are entirely wrong. Because this forest doesn't offer a single answer, it only poses a very old yet difficult question. When everything around you is silent, do you still want to continue listening to yourself? Aokigahara remains. It hasn't changed much over the years. The trees continue to grow, moss continues to cover the rocks, the trails still fade and reappear with each passing step. The forest doesn't remember each individual, but it retains an atmosphere that anyone who enters can feel, an atmosphere of absolute silence. And perhaps what makes Aokigahara most haunting isn't what happened there, but its ability to make people realize that sometimes the most terrifying things aren't outside, but deep within each of us. When you leave the forest, the light becomes clear again, sounds return, the world continues to function as usual. But if you've ventured deep enough into Aokigahara, you'll know that a tiny part of that silence will follow you out, not to pull you back, just to remind you that it once existed, and that there are places in the world that don't need to say anything to still make people listen.
There are forests born to shelter humanity. There are forests that exist to challenge. And then there are forests that don't care who you are, where you come from, or whether you intend to return. Aokigahara is one such place. It lies at the foot of Mount Fuji, Japan's most sacred symbol. A location one would expect to evoke a sense of serenity, purity, and peace. But as soon as you step onto the edge of the forest, that feeling vanishes quickly. Not because something frightening appears before your eyes, but because of something far more dangerous: the silence. The Japanese call Aokigahara Chukai, the sea of trees, not because it's as beautiful as blue waves, but because once you enter, your sense of direction vanishes, as if you were drifting in the ocean. The trees grow so densely that even daylight struggles to reach the ground. The tree trunks are covered in moss, their roots winding across the black rock, as if the entire forest is trying to hold on to something beneath. Aokigahara is not a natural forest in the conventional sense. It was formed on cooled lava flows from the eruption of Mount Fuji over 1,000 years ago. The porous, rough, and metal-rich basalt rock makes the ground beneath resemble a sturdy yet hollow labyrinth. This rock creates a strange phenomenon that almost everyone who enters the forest notices within the first few minutes. Sound does not echo. The wind blows, but does not reverberate. Footsteps do not echo. When you speak, your own voice seems to be sucked away, disappearing faster than usual. Many describe the feeling as like talking in a room sealed with thick fabric. No echo, no response, just you and the swallowed sound. It is this silence that makes one begin to hear other things: heartbeat, breath, the sound of fabric brushing against skin. And then, if you linger long enough, the sound of your own thoughts, clearer, heavier, no longer obscured by the sounds of the outside world. The compass in Aokigahara is unreliable. GPS frequently loses signal. Cell phone signals flicker and disappear completely after only a few hundred meters. But what frightens many people isn't the malfunctioning equipment, but the feeling they believe they're still in control of their direction, when in reality they aren't. Many people are certain they're going straight. They remember clearly where they turned left or right. But after a while, when they turn around, they find themselves standing almost exactly where they started. Not because they're careless, but because this forest lacks familiar landmarks for the brain to cling to. Everything looks so similar that perception begins to deceive itself. There are ropes tied to tree trunks scattered throughout the forest. Tourists often think these are ropes used by rangers to mark paths, but many of these ropes don't belong to any system at all. They're tied to trees at the edge of the forest, then stretch deep inside, lying silently on the leaf-covered ground. These ropes are left behind by people who enter the forest unsure whether they want to turn back. They tie the ropes to mark the way back, in case they change their minds. What haunts the rangers isn't the existence of the ropes, but where they end. Many ropes stop abruptly in the middle of the forest. Not broken, not dragged away, just stopped, as if the person holding the rope had no reason to continue. The rangers in Aokigahara don't talk much, not because they don't have stories to tell, but because there are things, after witnessing them long enough, that people no longer want to name. Their job isn't just to guide lost people out of the forest, but also to clean up, record, and keep silent. Aokigahara is not a place of noisy tragedies. It is a place of quiet endings. No screams, no dramatic scenes, only the forest and the very small, very discreet traces of human activity, as if unwilling to disturb anyone. In Japanese folklore, Aokigahara has long been considered the dwelling place of yurei, restless spirits. Not vengeful spirits, but rather left behind emotions, unspoken sorrows, thoughts that have found no outlet. The ancients believed that human emotions don't disappear when the body disappears. They simply seek a place to reside. And Aokigahara, with its absolute silence, became just such a place. Many who have ventured deep into the forest say that the initial feeling wasn't fear. It was a strange normalcy. Then came a heaviness. And finally, a feeling difficult to name.
as dark thoughts began to emerge for no apparent reason. Not because the forest whispered anything, but because the forest said nothing at all. Without response, without sound, without the gaze of others, people begin to confront themselves directly. For many, this is simply unsettling, but for others, it's the moment they realize a thought they've long avoided. Aokigahara doesn't push you. It doesn't hold you back. It simply exists. Indifferent, silent, leaving you to decide. And that very indifferent is the most dangerous thing. Not everyone who enters Aokigahara wants to find their way out. And this forest, somehow, seems to understand that very well.
Sometimes I wonder if the forest hears me. If my voice is just another whisper among the leaves.
The view from the overlook is spectacular this time of day.
Just be sure to watch your step on the way up. Thank you, I appreciate the tip.